When I left, you used to do my roster reviews. Now I do my own. I guess you've got to have goals, Vader. Greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good. You know, we do roster reviews all the time here on the channel. We do 75 to 100 roster reviews per month. We give away about half of those as free roster reviews to all of you out there. And today, I'm going to give you some tools, the tools that I use in order to do your own roster review. Because yesterday, I told you that you need to start doing your own roster reviews to figure out what your next farm is. Well, how do you do that? Here are some tools I'm going to give you. Now, a few notes. I spun Private Peter Pan here on the wheel. I can't pull up the wheel, but the problem was I did this whole video. I recorded it once, and it all went and so you're going to have to trust me. I spun Private Peter Pan. I think you'll see he's maybe not ideal. Actually, I would have liked to kind of maybe a little different feel for the roster I was going to review, but here he is, Private Peter Pan. You're getting a roster review. Today we're going to take a look at your roster, and we're also going to teach all of you out there the steps to take, the steps that I take really when I look at rosters and review rosters. For those who are interested in receiving a roster review on the channel or from yours truly, your dad who leaves for the blue milk and returns with blue milk and perhaps some butter and eggs, maybe some bacon. I put together a nice little breakfast for you on the Moisture Farm, and there you go. So for those of you interested, please hang on after the credits of this video. So we always do the video, then we have the credits for our members. After those credits, I'm going to do a little ditty on how roster reviews work on the channel, how you can sign up for free roster reviews, how Cahoots work, how you can pay for roster reviews, how you can get membership for roster reviews. Everything on the channel revolves around roster reviews as far as what we're doing on a daily basis. So anyway, let's take a look at Private Peter Pan, and let's start with the very first thing that I look for. The very first thing you should consider when you're looking at your roster to review it. Do you have any Lightspeed bundles? It's really important, boys and girls. There are a lot of Lightspeed bundles that have come out, and there are more that will come out. I guarantee it. We haven't heard anything yet, but there's no way Capital Games, with the success of the Lightspeed bundles, bringing people back to the game, just the monetary input into the game, the monetary gain from Lightspeed bundles, there are going to be more down the road. If you are a person who purchases Lightspeed bundles, you've got to figure that into your roster review. Now let's take a look at this roster right here. I see a lot of dark side GLs. In fact, it looks like almost everything on this roster is attuned into getting dark side GLs. That's interesting. Let's go look at the ships here too. So we got the Executor here. Let me look at some stuff here. Let's look at the first order ships to see if we got like a first order. Okay. No bundle there. The Finalizer bundle was not purchased. Now let me look at these Rebel ships. I'm kind of thinking maybe there aren't any Lightspeed bundles here. We do have some ships here, but we don't see any Phoenix. So the Shadows of the Empire bundle was not purchased. And we look at Resistance. Okay, well, this account has not purchased any bundles. We go to the characters. We look at Resistance and First Order there. I think we already saw from the characters on the First Order that. Yeah, so no Lightspeed bundles purchased on this account. So what we can do is, if you're not purchasing Lightspeed bundles, you can just take a look at what's your next thing to farm. Let's look at your roster. Let's figure out what's going on. But if you are buying Lightspeed bundles, you've really got to consider what you're going to farm, because when you buy the Rey bundle, or you buy the Kylo bundle, or you buy the Shadows of the Empire bundle, you're going to be farming Rey or Kylo or Jedi Master Luke. It just falls right into place. You're going to farm Captain Rex, go with those Phoenix you bought in the Shadows of the Empire bundle, and you're going to be buying future Lightspeed bundles as well. So what you want to try to do is think about, because you're doing a roster review, you're trying to think of what is next on your roster. What am I going to farm next? Well, on this roster, if you're not doing Lightspeed bundles, if you were doing Lightspeed bundles, I would think about Inquisitors here, because Inquisitors to me are a team, actually, this roster can also think about Inquisitors. Inquisitors are not complete, and at 6.2 million, this person is going to need these Inquisitors. So I really think if you're farming Lightspeed bundles, you want to look at characters that are not going to be in a Lightspeed bundle anytime soon. Inquisitors, Dr. Aphra. You can look at Bo-Katan. You can look at Jabba. You can look at Leia. I still think you can look at Lord Vader and Jedi Master Kenobi. I think it's going to be quite some time before those two start showing up in those Lightspeed bundles. I could be completely wrong about that. I do think an Executor and a Sith Eternal bundle will be on the way soon. Maybe even more of a Jedi Master Luke bundle. Finish that one off, but I don't see these. Anyway, Inquisitors get you 2 assault battles a month. If you're farming Lightspeed bundles, I think you should really look at doing Inquisitors here for sure. So that's the first thing to look at, is just consider, do you have Lightspeed bundles? Will you be purchasing Lightspeed bundles? Do you love Lightspeed bundles? Are Lightspeed bundles a part of your life now? And then think about how you're going to farm around those Lightspeed bundles, because you actually get a lot of flexibility, right? You get, when you buy a Lightspeed bundle for 20 bucks or 10 bucks or whatever it is, you get all the Kyrotechs, all the gear. It's already there. So you just need to farm a couple more characters to gear to get what you're going for. You can do a bunch of other farming in the meantime and do a bunch of finishing your farms or whatever. The other thing we got to do, we got to learn the journeys. We got to learn how the journeys work. Now, I'll have to come back to this roster in a minute. Let's go look at the journeys and talk about this. If you don't know how the journeys work, you're not going to understand what comes next on your roster and what to review on your roster. So for me, I've been playing from the very beginning of the game. I've been here for every journey release. I've got a really good idea, or I know exactly what is in every single journey in the game. Sometimes you get the Galactic Legends, there's a requirement you forget about. There's like 15 requirements or more for every single one of them. When you're naming them off, you're going to forget something. But I know it's in all these journeys. It's really important to know what's in the journeys so you can know what the next thing is in your roster, know what to look at when you're reviewing your roster. You need to know that you need Rebels for Palpatine, you need Jedi for Yoda, you need Phoenix for Thrawn, you need Empire for R2, you need First Order to get BB-8, you need Tarful and Saw Gerrera and Seer Junda and Young Cal to get Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, Separatists for Padme, on and on and on. You need to know these things because the journeys are what really transforms your roster. And from these early transformations that are kind of light transformations to the later ones like Starkiller, Dr. Aphra, and Grand Inquisitor, the Revans, you have to be able to look at your roster and see what's on it and realize, you know what? I'm already halfway to Sith Eternal on my roster. This was something that happened to me when I looked at my roster, my Star Wars Dad roster, about last July or August. I announced I was going to go for Jabba, and I pulled up my roster and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm actually only like 5 or 6 characters away from Sith Eternal Emperor, and 2 months later I had Sith Eternal Emperor. So you have to be able to look at your roster, do a deep dive, know what's in the journeys, because when you're looking at what's on your roster, you want to know what is up next, and you got to be able to say, I know. Well, let's get an example here. Let's go to the roster we were looking at. Let's go back into Private Peter Parker, Private Peter Pepper, Private Peter Pan. It was Private Peter something, and we don't really want to talk about Private Peters, but you know what I mean. Okay, so Private Peter Pan. Always a boy, never going to be a man, right? So let's take a look. Let's scroll down this roster a little bit. If we look at the incompletes here, there's T3, I'm not too worried about that. Shaak Ti, Asajj Ventress. Well, we got gas on the roster already, but how about this? What about if we look at a Separatist team with the Grievous droids? We've got General Grievous at Relic 1, and we've got B2 at Gear 12. We've got, we could really use a Relic 5 B2, a Relic 7 Grievous, especially for the Malevolence as well, a Relic Up Droidica, etc. That's not really a journey, so I just went outside of the journeys here. But let's see what journey might be next for this roster as we scroll through it. And we go down here, we scroll. We got the Ewoks for 3PO, we got the Phoenix. I don't know, maybe all the journeys are done here, and there's not a lot of journeys to look at. We could do Captain Rex needs to be finished. Get those Phoenix up and running, my friend. But Inquisitors, Captain Rex, the Grand Inquisitor journey, I think is the main one for this account to do today. So you got to learn the journeys and know what's in the journeys. If you don't know what's in the journeys, I'm not saying to go get flashcards and memorize them, but you need to become familiar with those. Look at them and kind of understand what's in the journeys, because you won't know what to do next with your roster if you don't know what might be next on your roster as far as journeys go. Next question we got: how deep is your character roster and fleet? When you're looking at your roster, you need to look at and say, how deep is my, and this mainly goes with fleets for me. And let's take a look at Private Peter Pan's fleets here. I always go to the capital ships. We've got a 5-star Negotiator still at level 1. We've got a 5-star Malevolence. We've got a Chimera and Executor. The other, and maybe some home one. Endurance and Executrix, we're not going to be using those. We're going to be using the Chimera with the Empire, Executor with Bounty Hunters, Negotiator with Galactic Republic, and Malevolence with the Separatists. Now, if you're using those fleets that way, are those fleets complete? Are they ready to go, or do we need to work on those fleets some more? Look at the Bounty Hunters for our Executor. We could probably use a couple more relic levels on Beskar Mando and Cad Bane, but we're not in a horrible shape here. So that's in pretty good shape right there. If you look at the Separatists, I always like to go to this Malevolence fleet. This fleet is not finished. Not only is Malevolence at 5 stars, need to take it to 7. I'm sure they're working on that. But Hyena Bomber and Vulture Droid need to be farmed. Now you have Hyena Bomber at 4 stars. It tells me you're probably farming this stuff, but you need to get this fleet up and running. It's not a top 3 or even 4 fleet right now, but it is a top 5, maybe 6 fleet. It's in that top range. And then at the higher levels of Grand Arena, you're using 3 fleets on defense. Maybe was it 4? But anyway, 3 fleets on defense, 3 on offense. You need those 6 fleets. Malevolence is an important fleet. And if we get all the Separatist stuff this year we think we might get, you may see some more ships near or another Separatist fleet. You need to get this fleet up and running, so finish that fleet for sure. Now we look at the Negotiator. I would get the Negotiator level 85 on this roster for sure. One of the first things I always look at is Plo Koon here. Get his reinforcement ability maxed out. Please, people, do this. It's 40% health and protection recovery, and it clears all debuffs from the whole team. This team doesn't work without Plo Koon reinforcing, so get that done. And then Marauder. This is a roster, since they have Lord Vader, they have the Bad Batch, this should be doubling up on Marauder every day. So what I'm seeing here is a really good character roster. We got 3 Galactic Legends, we got Darth Revan, we got Gas, we got Malak, we got Jedi Knight Luke, we got CLS, we got Malak. We got a lot of good character stuff, a deep character roster, but the fleets are a little bit thin. He has definitely farmed the Executor. The Chimera is there. Let's go look at the Empire, and they're going to be lacking the Scythe. So again, farm those Inquisitors, to get the Grand Inquisitor, to get the Scythe. On this account, they should be deep into Proving Grounds and able to unlock the Scythe very soon. So that's what I would say here is it's time to shore up these fleets. Maybe even look at a Profundity. But honestly, 3 Galactic Legends to 1 big capital ship is a pretty good ratio. But this roster needs a little bit of fleet step-up-ins. How deep is your roster? Again, it almost always goes toward the fleets. More people leave their fleets undeveloped than their characters. So take a look at that and know what you're looking at when you're looking at how deep is your roster. How about this? Do you have any unfinished farms? We say it all the time. We do it all the time. We look for it all the time. Finish your farms, FYF. Do you have like Jedi Knight Revan sitting out there unfinished? On this roster, we don't see it, although we did just look at one a minute ago, didn't we? We did just look at one a minute ago. This Grievous droid team is incomplete, and it's a really great team. It's not as great as it used to be, and I wouldn't put it on defense, but on offense, there's a lot of flexibility with this team. If you get Grievous up to Relic 5 or 7, get Battle Droid up to B1 up to 5, Droideka up to Relic 5. Man, Droideka spanks like a monkey. I don't know what that means, but he does it. Anyway, Droideka hits like a tank. There you go. Hits like a tank. I don't know if you want to say spanks like a monkey in mixed company, but anyway, he hits like a tank. You need to get him relicked up. Relic up that Battle Droid, relic up Magna Guard. Get these things relicked up. Get them working. And I see Wat Tambor here, or he's already relicked. Why not work on Jedi Master Kenobi in the meantime? Get a light side Galactic Legend. But this is an incomplete, and this is an unfinished farm of this roster. There wasn't much else that was unfinished here, but I'm always looking at the 501st, the CLS team. Grandmaster Yoda should be relicked for sure. He goes on the Jedi Knight Revan team on this squad. Let's look at the Jedi and see where Private Peter Pan is for Jedi. We got Jedi Knight Revan, we got Bass Lasham, we got Jolie Bindo. Relic 1. This Relic 1 stuff's got to stop. You need to go to at least Relic 3. That's like a bare minimum. It doesn't take that much. And Grandmaster Yoda needs to be relicked. He goes on that team, and he is the puncher. Again, he's like Destroyer Droid, but for the Jedi on the Jedi Knight Revan squad. So unless maybe they're going for Jedi Master Luke in the near future, which they might be, I still would go ahead and relic up Grandmaster Yoda. That's an unfinished farm right there. Let's take a look. I think probably all the Sith are going to be... let me take a look at the Sith here real quick. So anyway, you're looking for unfinished farms. Do you have like a CLS team that's not done? Do you have a Jedi Knight Revan team that's not done? Do you have a Darth Sion or a Darth Talon that's not done? Darth Sion isn't what he used to be, but he's still really good, and he still can tank for your team and provide some value to that Traya team. Although this person, I guess, is probably having success without him. Darth Talon adds a little bit of value as well. So look for that. Look for those. Look for those teams that need to be finished, those unfinished farms. Finish your farms. Private Peter Pan. Oh, hey, I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you one right here. How about the Phoenix? Now that we got Captain Rex, this is an endgame team that's being left on the shelf right now and not working. Although if you put some Zetas on Captain Rex and an Omicron, you could use this team for some stuff, but I would relic up Hera, Chopper, Kanan, Sabine, and Captain Rex as soon as possible. Finish this farm. Finish the Inquisitor farm. That would be a great farm to finish here. So look at your roster. Do you have any unfinished farms? Those are the ones you should be focused on now. Do you have any unfinished farms is the last thing, or not the last thing. They're the last thing I'm going to look at for roster reviews. So how to review your own roster is, of course, everyone's favorite. We talk about it all the time. Check your speeds. How is the speed on your roster? Speed is what the game is all about. How does your roster look for speed? Let's do what we always do on roster reviews. We sort for speed. We took a look at the fastest non-GL character. It's Echo. Now, Echo's got a bunch of 6-dot mods. That's a good sign. You want as many 6-dot mods as possible. And Echo has an extra 130 speed. That's okay. That's okay. If you look at each one of these, this is going to be 32. This one's at 13. This one's at 15. You know, there's not, I haven't seen a 20 yet. There's a 20 finally. There's a 17. You want as many 20 speed mods as possible. 15 or more is really kind of a minimum, especially when you get into Galactic Legends. Let's take a look at Jabba here. We got 15. Yeah, so thank you, Jabba. We definitely need more speed on this roster. I do feel the need for speed on this roster today. So you need to check your speed mods. And a good rule of thumb given to us by Darth Locator, your pal and mine, is that for every 500,000 galactic power you have, you need at least one character over 300 speed. And that's your non-GL character. They're automatic. So if we look at this, we should have 12 characters over 300 speed. We go here, that's going to take us down to Kersantin. I don't think Kersantin's over 300 speed on this roster. I'm just going to take a guess. He's at 293. So we're close, but there is work to be done. So this roster could use some more speed. You always need to check your speed, boys and girls. The game is all about speed. So let's go through this again. When you're reviewing your roster, start with, do you have any light speed bundles? If you are, you need to really tailor your farming around them. If not, you can just do a classic roster review for yourself. Learn the journeys. Are you close to any journeys? You need to know what's in the journeys. You need to know how to spot on your roster if you're getting close to a journey so you can finish that farm off and get to that journey. How deep is your character or fleet roster? Again, this goes usually to fleets for most of you guys. You know, get in there on the fleets and take care of those, or check your characters. Maybe your fleets are deep and your characters aren't, or maybe you just have a few teams, you're top heavy and don't know about a lot of middle range teams. Do you have any unfinished farms? Do you have CLS unfinished? I see CLS unfinished. I see Jedi Knight Revan, Darth Revan. These are a lot of the times of the teams I see unfinished all the time. And then check your speeds. You've gotta be watching your speeds. The game is all about speed. And boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, again, stay tuned. If you want to hear how roster reviews work on the channel, to get a roster review from me, I'll be doing that after the credits here. In the meantime, for the rest of you, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, remember, Nooch too good. Hello there, everybody. As promised, I'm going to tell you how roster reviews work on the channel. We do, like I mentioned, I think between 75 and 100 roster reviews a month. About half of those are free roster reviews. So the first question is, how do you sign up for a free roster review? Well, you can sign up in my Discord in the following month's room. So we get this wheel, we set this wheel up the previous month. So if we open my Discord right now, this is my February 2024 free roster review sign up room. It's open right now because it's January 29th. Only a couple days left for people to sign up in here. You put your ally code in here, and what happens is in February, your name will be on this wheel. Then we spin the wheel. Whoever gets the spin wins a roster review. I generally try to do about 3 of these at the end of every roster review stream, and occasionally we'll squeeze one in as well. So if you want to qualify for a free roster review by getting your name on the wheel, go to my Discord, go to the next month's free roster review room, get your ally code in there, and you'll be signed up to get your name on this wheel. That's the first way to get a free review. The second way to get a free review is Kahoots. On every roster review stream, we do Kahoots, and I give away 1 free roster review per Kahoot. A lot of times our members will give away their roster reviews on the Kahoots as well. So we'll get 1, 3, 5 roster reviews, free roster reviews given away to the top finishers on the Kahoot. So you got to join the roster review streams early to get in on the Kahoot. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you jump on those streams early and often. And make sure you turn on alerts, get on the Discord so you see when roster review streams are coming. You can get in early, play the Kahoot, and get a chance to win a free roster review. Now, what about paid roster reviews? Well, there's a couple things going on there. As far as on the channel, and I don't want to bring the channel over here, but we'll just bring up this. So on the channel, I'm going to bring the game up. Yeah, there we go. So if you join at the Masters level member or High Council member, you have roster reviews included with that every month. At the Masters member, you get 1 free roster review per month, or 1 included roster review per month. The Masters membership level is $19.99 a month, and you get a roster review included. You can get that roster review here on a stream, or you can get a private roster review from me, which we'll talk more about in a minute. At the high council level, which is $49.99 a month, you are entitled to 2 roster reviews per month. That's a lot of people in those masters levels and high council levels will give away their roster reviews to other people on the Coots, and that's what I was talking about as far as the Coots and giving them away. So, so be aware of that. You can also on streams. The first 3 paid reviews, just straight up paid reviews on each stream, are $10 per review. So if you want to pay $10 to have me review your roster, you put it on stream, you give a super chat on stream, $9.99, whatever, I don't care. It's dollars American. I do care about that. American dollars. Donate on the stream, $10 American, and yeah, I will review your roster for the first 3. After that, it goes up to $20, and I kind of leave it at that $20 level until I get tired or it's clear that we're just loaded up and we're full and I'm not going to be able to get through any more roster reviews. Then I actually pump it up to $50. Now, why do I do that? The goal is not to charge somebody $50 and to say, this is, people come on all the time, it's expensive. I get it. But I do that to leave it open that if somebody really wants to pay $50, and it has happened a few times, that they can pay it, and I will come out of my slumber and I will review your roster. For $50, I'll do just about anything on the channel. So for $50 at the end of the stream, I'll review your roster. Otherwise, the first 3 are $10. It goes to $20, usually stays there for like an hour, hour and a half. Then I pump it to $50 just to say, I'm trying to put a stop to roster reviews at that point. That's really the goal, is to say, I'm done with roster reviews, I'm tired, I can't really do anymore, but if you want to donate $50, you can awaken me from my hibernation, and I will do a roster review for you at that point. So that's how the paid roster reviews work. There's one more thing though, private roster reviews. I do private roster reviews all the time. I'll send you your very own YouTube link, and down the road, months later, I'll share them on my Patreon. So I do have the Patreon Nooch2 Patreon, or Patreon Nooch2 Good, something like that. You can go take a look at that. But to sign up for a private roster review, there's 2 ways. They do cost $20 or $19.99 a month. $19.99 a month. You can either super chat on a stream. You can become a Masters member on the channel, and you can get either a private review or a public review. Or you can join at the $20 level on Patreon. At that same level on Patreon, you qualify for a private review. What you're going to want to do if you want to get a private review where I just send you your own private YouTube link, you're going to want to DM me on Discord. You can also send me an email at noochlego@gmail.com. It's on the channel, and I can connect with you to do that private review. But those are the ways you pay for a private review. And that's everything. Again, about half our reviews end up being free, and half of them end up being paid. I do prioritize free reviews. When do reviews happen? Every Friday we have a roster review stream at 10:30 a.m. Central Time ish every Friday, and then on weeks where there is no Grand Arena, we'll do them on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll do 3 straight days of roster reviews, and then every now and then I get a day off of work, or I have some time available or whatever, and I'll come on and just do a random roster review too. So that's how roster reviews work on the channel. Hopefully that helps you if you're looking for one. I will talk to you soon. I will do it again. Have a great day, and always remember, Nooch2Good.